Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome back to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. Kicking off this fall semester here at Florida State. Right now over Doak Campbell Stadium, it is 88 degrees. It's mostly cloudy, though. We have some dark clouds rolling in from the south and west. Those are to our west, working their way north. Those shouldn't affect the Florida State area, but we'll keep an eye on those just in case. Around much of the Big Bend region right now, sitting in the upper 80s, more toward the lower 80s down by the coast where those thunderstorms are right now. And again, it is very hot and humid as is typical for Florida summer. As we go throughout the night tonight, we're heading down to a low of 73 for your overnight low temperature. We do have a slight chance of some evening and overnight thunderstorms, just a 30% chance though, not all that great coverage. However, we are starting the first show of the fall semester. Welcome back, everybody. And we are having conditions this week similar to Baton Rouge, except we actually bring the heat and actually win our football games. And those tropics are heating up around Tallahassee. So stay with us here on the show.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Jason Corver.
And I'm student meteorologist Nico Sapienza.
And welcome back to our first show of the semester. It's going to be a great semester and great year for all of us here, and we're very excited to be back.
Yeah, we're definitely really excited to be back. We haven't done the show in a while, so we all might be a bit rusty, but we've had a couple weeks back in Tallahassee now, and it's been nice so far.
Hopefully everyone has had a very safe and fun Labor Day. I personally went to Universal for the Halloween Horror Nights. That was really fun. A little rainy and lots of lightning in the area, but other than that, it was still really fun.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. And hopefully y'all caught the game where we blocked the extra point. It was a really good game on Sunday, and we won, finally.
Yeah, and then in Tallahassee here, it's been very hot and rainy, just typical summertime pattern we've been seeing. Maybe that will change, maybe it will not, maybe just continue watching the show, but yeah, it's been a very nice and great summer for all of us here at FSU Weather.
Yeah, it definitely has been. And talking about the future weather pattern a bit, it does look like we might get a lot more rain at the end of the week, so that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as we keep going through the week, and we'll talk about that more later in the show as well. But we could have a lot of heavy rain at the end of this week into this weekend.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to October when those temperatures start to creep down lower, but right now we're just in the thick of basically a summer type pattern. So other than that, I'm actually going to send it off to Evan for the first local.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And you guys were mentioning that Florida State football game at LSU this weekend. No one told me there's going to be a block party at the Caesars Superdome. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. People got to tell me what's going on here, you know. Anyway, we're sitting over at Doak Campbell Stadium again. Still 88 degrees on that thermometer. And again, there's some ominous-looking skies over the stadium right now. Again, those shouldn't get to Florida State in the actual Tallahassee metro area, but areas to the west, definitely keep an eye on these because there are some heavy downpours with this, along with a lot of lightning. We did get up to 94 degrees on that thermometer at the airport this afternoon, 4 degrees above our average high and only 3 degrees off of our record set back in 1917 of 97. And we have to wait a while to get really down towards that 62 record that we had in 1994. I'm looking forward to that, as I know Jason is, as he said earlier. We're currently around the area, we are sitting in the upper 80s widespread. There are a couple of we are seeing those showers and thunderstorms around, particularly Sumatra and Crawfordville. They're sitting in the middle to lower 80s right now. And you can actually see where those storms are on our heat index. That little cool right there where our heat index values are only in the middle to upper 90s instead of at well over 100. That's where we have that activity right now. And you can see that on the radar picture right around there, just to the southeast of Blountstown, moving towards the west and northeast, excuse me. And you can actually see that sea breeze boundary that's really getting those storms going, working its way towards Tallahassee. We'll have to see if those storms hold together as they reach our area, but we'll keep an eye on that here on the show. Throughout tonight, we're going down to the low of 73 in Tallahassee, a little bit warmer down by the coast in the middle 70s there. So a comfortable night. It will be humid though, as will tomorrow, sitting in the lower 90s throughout much of the area. A little bit cooler down by the coast, sitting in the upper 80s, but still very hot and humid. Probably a good beach day for tomorrow. That pattern will change as we get later in the week here, but I'll get to that in a second here. So tomorrow afternoon will be dominated by clouds. You can see overnight on Thursday, getting towards midnight on Thursday. we have those clouds coming back, and that's really going to be the signal to that change in the weather pattern. You see that Thursday we have a lot of rain activity on that radar map there. So savor this while it lasts, because tomorrow's probably going to be your best beach day. Even though there could be some showers around, the water temperature will be nice and warm. Look at that, 86 on that beach, on that water thermometer, excuse me, with only a light chop and a light breeze. So that's probably your best bet for the beach. And actually right now, look at this, at the FSU Res, looking pretty nice. Again, there are those dark clouds associated with those showers and thunderstorms on that radar, so keep an eye on that. As for your dog walk forecast tomorrow, looks good in the morning, but definitely want to do that before we get into the later afternoon hours where we get really hot and humid. So, because it will be getting into the 90s once again tomorrow afternoon. And you can see that here on our thermometers here for tomorrow afternoon, getting up near that 90-degree mark once again. And that really signals that change on Thursday, heading towards Friday. Look at that, 80% chance of rain, and that could be some flooding rain as well, Nico. So I have to wonder, is the southeast, is Florida experiencing more of those showery activity?
Thank you, Evan. All right, as we look at Florida, it's actually a pretty nice evening. That's obviously going to change later this week based on how we've been talking this show so far. But Tallahassee right now, we do have some storms in the area, but it's actually pretty nice overall. Miami is really sunny. You have cool looking clouds offshore though. It looks like I can see a towering cloud in the background, so there's probably some thunderstorms down there. Orlando looks really nice. I don't see anything that would indicate storms there. St. George Island also looks pretty nice right now. Taking a look at your current temperatures, it's 92 degrees in Tallahassee, 93 in Jacksonville, 94 in Gainesville, 95 in Tampa, and 90. It's a very hot afternoon. It is still summertime for the next 16 days. Not abnormal for Florida at this time of the year. Your dew points are also very high. 76-degree dew point in Tallahassee. When you get dew points this high, you know it's going to be muggy, and those are those days where you're going to go outside and you're going to get drenched in sweat pretty quickly. And now to look at your heat index. As I was talking about earlier, it is very hot outside. It feels like 99 degrees, 101 in Tampa. This is near 100-degree feels like temperature all around the area today. Now look at your satellite and radar. You see the storms along the sea breeze south of Tallahassee trying to work its way here. They're pretty isolated in coverage, but there are some, so definitely keep an eye on it this evening. There's a bigger complex of storms out near Daytona Beach area, DeLand area, moving to the south. So if you know people there, they're going to definitely get storms this evening. If you look ahead, Miami, storms in the afternoon, the next Friday have a higher coverage. Tampa looks the same thing. It's going to be afternoon storms every day with a little bit of coverage every day. Orlando is going to be the same thing. It's going to be stormy each day. Friday, you get the temperature is going to go down a lot, and then the rain chances go up a lot because you could get rain at any time during the day with the system coming in. Jacksonville, the further north and west you go with the system, the closer to the front you are, and the more storms you're going to have. You have a 90% chance of storms on Friday in Jacksonville, and those could come at any time of the day, not just in the evening. Pensacola. All right, so tonight's low temperature, it's going to be 73 degrees in Tallahassee, 72 in Gainesville, 75 in Orlando, and 78 in Tampa. You have the sea breeze. And a look at your future radar. You've got storms coming in the afternoon tomorrow, and then Thursday is definitely going to be a much more active day. And a look at tomorrow's temperatures, 91 degrees in Tallahassee, 95 in Orlando, 91 in Tampa. It's going to be a hot and stormy day. Now I'm going to pass things off to Jason.
Thanks, Nico. Yeah, but mostly looking at the southeast, though, if I can get to it, it's going to be very much the same of just Florida. But this is a national. But if we're going to be looking maybe a little south of the national, it's a little too wide then for my liking. But we're going to be pulling up the national pretty soon, hopefully. There you go, perfect. Mexico Beach, perfectly good outside right now. And Charlotte, North Carolina, you see those upper level clouds with 87 degrees, so extremely nice there. Atlanta, a lot less cloudy here, and that's still going to be very nice. Still humid though, and Blacksburg, Virginia is 77. I wish we have 77 right now. I've seen a little more cloud cover than our area. Current temperatures are showing that Tallahassee is 87, Montgomery's 88, Little Rock, though, as you can see, Little Rock is 77, so a lot colder. That's because they're getting some rain right now, and Tampa is 88, so huge contrast from Tampa to Little Rock, which is really good to see, kind of, but I wish we've been seeing those temperatures up here in Tallahassee. Dew point, though, that's the measure of how much moisture is in the area right now. 76 right now in Tallahassee, and Little Rock, I'm saying right here, it's going to be perfectly 67. So not even that. I'm not even that humid in Little Rock. Charlotte's 71, but so it's just very humid through the southeast. As we look at the heat index forecast, though, right now it's going to be 101 in Tampa, extremely, extremely warm. That's because of that high dew point and high temperature equating to such a high heat index. 99 in Tallahassee, but as we get farther north, even Nashville is 79, so not too high. Perfectly great day in Nashville. That's where my sister lives right now. Wind speed and direction showing us the wind is coming from the west to east, so we're going to be seeing those western storms move through our area to Tallahassee, and that's where they're also getting rain up in Little Rock, and you can see some different wind directions rather than the ones in Tallahassee. Current radar showing us that it's just perfectly summertime pattern like we've been seeing. You can see some pop-up showers in Tallahassee, and as I was saying before, in Little Rock, in that area, it's going to be very, very wet. It's perfect summertime pattern. Tonight's temperature showing us just similar temperatures throughout our entire area. 73 in Tallahassee right now. Little Rock is seeing 68, but down in Key West in Miami, extremely warm, 81 degrees. That's a very that's a very high temperature, excuse me. But looking at LSU, where we won the game barely, but I still say we won the game fair and square. Wednesday, 70% chance of rain, 88, so very warm and muggy. And throughout the rest of the week they're going to be slightly dipping down into 50 rain chance, so still pretty stormy. But Little Rock, as I was saying before, they've been getting some rain today, but that's going to be dissipating as we go Friday. Charleston is looking like it's going to be raining a lot more on Thursday and Friday, but now actually I'm going to switch it off to the next segment with Evan.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So we're going to take a big old picture here at the National here in a second, if I can get our graphic system to cooperate here. And there we go. All right, so now there's our big old national picture right now, and the first thing that'll probably catch your eye, look at Salt Lake City, 102 right now, 99 at San Francisco. The Southwest is really feeling the effects of an immense heat wave that unfortunately is not letting up anytime soon, and that's actually going to worsen the wildfire threat there. And we also have on the other side of our country right now a front associated here in the northeast where we've had immense flooding here in Rhode Island. Actually, Providence yesterday had some record-breaking rainfall there. Look at our dew points. Again, you can see how dry it is here in the southwest, and that does not help those wildfire conditions, especially since it's so warm. This is September heat like we haven't seen before, so this is really something here. And of course, in the southeast, you have that flow coming off the Gulf of Mexico, feeling that humidity. A lot of green on that map. Look at that dew point right now in Tallahassee, 76. That's our highest dew point on that map there. So typical Florida fashion, right? But as for our water vapor, again, it's very dry. You can almost see the clockwise circulation associated with this high pressure system, that ridge out there in the west that's helping to solidify that wildfire threat and that heat threat out there in the west. And there's all that convection associated with that front in the east. So again, that's leading to also all kinds of flooding in the northeast. So keep an eye on that. Turn around and don't drown if you live in the northeast. I know we say that a lot, but it really is important, especially because you don't know how deep those floodwaters can be. Again, here's a look at that national surface map right now. A lot of rainfall up in the northeast associated with that front draped across the eastern U.S. And there's that high pressure system in the west bringing that wildfire threat. So let's take a look at some active alerts right now. A lot of colors out there in the west. I'll get to that in a second here, but we're going to start in the northeast. There aren't that many flood threats as yesterday. That rainfall has kind of subsided a little bit. It's lighter than it was yesterday, but there's still a lot of green on this map. That means that the rain's still falling in the northeast, so please be careful on your drive home this afternoon because this is the first work day of the week, technically because Labor Day was yesterday, so there'll be more people out on the road. So just be aware of that for tonight. Again, here's the southwest. That pink color, that's an excessive heat warning where we have those temperatures spiking up into the 100 and teens in some places. And we also have that fire threat, that red flag warning up here in the northwest. Again, feeling that fire threat. We actually had down here in California, just outside of Los Angeles, associated with the Fairview fire. Unfortunately, we already had 2 confirmed deaths as of today. So please be careful. Don't light any fires outside unnecessarily that you don't need to. So again, in the southeast, typical summer pattern here, plenty of rainfall and some excessive rainfall later in the week because we do have, again, this general thunderstorm threat that just stays in the southeast U.S. for the next few days here. Look at that, day 2 tomorrow, still there. And again, on day 3, on Thursday, it's still there. So that's when we really have that flooding threat starting to ramp up. So keep an eye on that. Again, I'm going to say it again. Turn around and please don't drown. That's very important. As for airport delays, Atlanta, Georgia, we are seeing a couple of showers around right now, but the delays don't seem too bad there. The main threat for delays right now is in the Northeast. We have that big system, right? So LaGuardia feeling those delays. I'm sure JFK and Newark also are, and especially for Boston as well. Some delays there as well. The rest of the country seems okay in terms of airport delays. As for tonight, we're staying warm in the southwest. Look at that. Salt Lake City, 75. Los Angeles, 74. Also warm on the eastern U.S., sitting in the 70s in the southeast. Cooler up towards the north in the 60s there. And then for tomorrow, look at Billings, Montana. 103, 105 there in Salt Lake City, and widespread 80s and 90s in the southeast. Now I'm going to pass things over to the desk with Jason and Nico.
Thanks, Evan. Yeah, so today in weather history, it's kind of lots of hurricanes we've been talking about because it's obviously hurricane season. Hurricane Isabel was named on September 6 in 2003, so that was a pretty major storm. Category 5 status, made landfall in North Carolina as a Category 2. So we've been seeing the past couple, like 20 years, where these storms start forming around this time.
And then today in 2017, Hurricane Irma hit the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico as a Category 5. We all remember what happened a few days later on September 10th when that hurricane hit Florida and everybody had to evacuate. It was, I think, today when the evacuation order was actually issued, was September 6th. When it hit the Virgin Islands, though, on September 6th, the maximum sustained winds were 180 miles per hour.
Wow. And I remember that day. I remember when all those warnings started to come out. Schools were being canceled. We were out for about 2 weeks. And it was not a fun time to be a high school student because we did have to make all those school days up.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't fun. But we did end up getting out of school for a week, and that was definitely a very interesting storm for me to track up in St. Augustine because we got all on the northeast quadrant, so we got a bunch of tornadoes up there too.
Yeah,
it was a really
you guys probably got hit.
storm.
You guys probably got hit pretty lots of tornadoes there too. But just remember that hurricane season still is active, as you can't really tell right now because we've really been having that many storms, as I'll probably talk about in the next segment. But and the hurricane season still runs until November 30th, so we can still have some major storms. All you need is one major storm to have a bad hurricane season. So
yeah, definitely. And I have seen some of the weather models trying to get active. The Gulf is warm, the Atlantic is warm, so something is able to form, and it's definitely still the time of year where something could come and hit us. So we have to definitely keep an eye on that. We still have 2.5 more months of hurricane season.
Exactly, yeah. I'm actually going to be talking about tropics in the next segment, and that will be exactly what I'm talking about, like the warm water in the Gulf, all that stuff. But right now, in the tropics, we're seeing Earl and Danielle. Those are two main storms, which is surprising because it's like so late in the season, which we've been usually seeing it late, like earlier in the season, like usually early August. But now, I'm actually going to go to the tropics, and we're going to be talking about it more in depth now. So, as I was saying before, you can see that the tropics is quite quiet for this time of the year, but we've been seeing some tropics in our area. But look, we've only gone through 5 storms, which is crazy. We've been usually every year, especially this year, it was projected we would be going through more than that, maybe even double that already. But the sea surface temperatures is just showing that a storm could form right here, and it would do extremely well, like very warm temperatures, way above 80 degrees, especially in this area just south of Tallahassee area. That can really drive the storm. And the sea surface temperature anomalies showing us only this region right here is showing some cool, but everything else is warmer than average. But as I was talking about before, this is Hurricane Earl, tropical storm. It's going to be a hurricane. And into a Category 3 hurricane. So probably a first major hurricane projected for our season, which is pretty late in this year. But let's look at the wind field moving up into the northeast. Probably obviously no threat to the U.S., maybe to the threat to this island here. Looking at the next storm we're going to be talking about, Danielle, it's going to be, this is our hurricane of the season so far, and that is moving through the area right here. It's still going through the northeast, so we're not going to hit the U.S., and it's moving and dissipating very just slowly, as you can see. 75 miles an hour wind right now, right here, and the pressure of 986, so not too bad, but still the first hurricane of this season. We do have some development showing us right here, and it's a moderate in the 5-day development, and it could spiral up something, but we do have something behind it too, showing a low chance in the next days, so we're going to keep you guys updated on that chance, because anything can happen in the tropics, especially in this time of the year. But looking at the water vapor for those storms, it looks pretty cool, as you can see, like that storm right down here, and also up here, you can see that spiral going counterclockwise, just like storms do in the northern part of the Earth. And then Caribbean showing us just blank tropics, as you can see, other than this side right here. Cuba getting lots of rain, but that's not anything we have to worry about in the tropics. Showing us the forecast, showing just 30-year average. We're below that. We're just below everything right now, because Category 3 major storms, we're not even going to hit one yet. We're probably going to soon, but make sure you guys be prepared no matter what, because anything can happen. Please prepare emergency backpack. Always watch the storms, and always keep updated in everything weather.
Thank you, Jason. All right. It's currently 92 degrees and mostly cloudy on Landis Screen on FSU's campus. It is a hot evening. It's September 6th, so this is to be expected at this time of the year, but at least it's not storming at the moment. So if you're outside, you're just hot. You're not getting rained on. It's just going to be hot and humid. And if you're taking your dog out for a walk tomorrow morning, it's going to be, and actually it's going to be nice in the morning, 75 at 7 a.m., 78 at 9 a.m., that's when you're going to want to take your dog for a walk if you do, because by 11 it's going to be 85 degrees and it's going to be humid. So that heat index is going to be above 90 by 11 a.m. If you're going out in College Town tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy and 74 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the south-southwest at 5 miles an hour, so that's not going to be much of a factor. It's going to be a pretty nice evening, probably one of the nicer evenings this week with the weather coming in later this week. You're taking a drive out tonight, it's 83 at 7, then it starts to cool off below 80 degrees after 9 p.m. So after 9 p.m. it starts to get pretty nice out. It'll still be muggy, but you won't have the sun, and it's going to feel a lot nicer. And if you're looking for air travel out of Tallahassee, not many people are probably flying out of Tallahassee today, but if you are, you're not going to have any delays today. It's nice weather. It's 88 degrees with partly cloudy skies. So you're going to be fine if you're traveling out of Tallahassee today. Tonight's stargazing forecast, 96% full moon. Sun sets at 7:54, so it's going to be a nice day to view the sky. If you're going out to Wakulla Springs, down there, it's going to be 82 degrees with mostly cloudy conditions this evening. It's a good evening to go to the springs if you're there. There's no storms in that area, so you don't have to worry about that this evening. And then on Thursday at 7, we have a women's soccer home game against Florida Gulf Coast. It says cloudy and 85, but I would be a little bit concerned that we might have some thunderstorms in the area around that time with the system coming in, so that's definitely going to be something to watch. If you're going out hiking in Crawfordville on the Florida Trail, it's going to be 87 degrees and mostly cloudy. That is not optimal hiking conditions in my opinion. You're going to sweat a lot if you try to hike in 87 degrees. At the reservation, the FSU res, it's 88 degrees. You got some towering cumulus, but nothing really trying to get going too much. There's a little bit of dry air today. That's not going to be an issue later this week. If you're going out to the beach, 80 degrees in the air in the water. That is very hot water temperatures. So it is a good day to go to the beach. And then your next 4 days, 20% chance of storms tomorrow. Should be a pretty dry day. It gets much stormier, and the temperatures cool off at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's right, Nico. We are going to be stormy in the next few days here, especially towards the later part of our weekend. But right now, we actually could have a couple of storms right now. Looking at this live picture at Doak Campbell Stadium right now, those dark clouds are starting to move in from the west. We'll take a look at this in a second on radar, but just keep an eye out. Keep your umbrellas handy if you're headed out in a few minutes after our show here. But right now it is 88 degrees, and again, mostly cloudy skies with those winds coming out of the northwest at 10 miles an hour. Across much of the area, we are sitting in the upper 80s. We are cooler in some spots where we've already had some rainfall, particularly in Crawfordville and Sumatra, sitting in the lower 80s right now. And of course, as we lose some of the daytime heating, we'll start to cool off a little bit. And we are extremely humid. These numbers are very high, especially for Monticello. Look at that dew point, 79 on that dew point thermometer right there. That's very stifling humidity right there. So again, particularly in Apalachicola as well, very high dew point there, also in Perry. So very typical for Florida, but especially today, it's very, very high dew points because we have this southerly flow coming off the Gulf of Mexico that really feeds in that moisture and humidity with that sea breeze coming off the Gulf of Mexico here. And you can actually see the sea breeze on the radar picture here. That little green line there headed up towards I-10 from the south, that's the sea breeze right there. So that's that wind coming from the south off the Gulf of Mexico, and that can also sometimes trigger some shower and thunderstorm activity, as you see here on the radar. So we'll keep an eye on this as we go forward in time here, but just be aware for your evening commute, those could be around tonight. As we head into the overnight hours, though, temperatures will dip into the lower 70s, particularly in our northern suburbs. In our southern suburbs down by the coast, we'll sit in the middle 70s, so a little bit warmer there, but not all that different from inland. As for tomorrow, though, we'll heat it back towards that 90-degree mark, widespread across our area, a little bit cooler down by the coast. We have that sea breeze once again working its way up from the south, sitting in the upper 80s there. For tonight and tomorrow, it will be a little cloudy as we work our way towards the later part of tomorrow. And then on Thursday, as you saw there, we'll get a lot of rainfall activity, particularly for Friday as well. We could get some flooding rainfall, so please turn around and don't drown on those roadways out there because again, we are very saturated for this time of the year, so we've already had a lot of rainfall, which could lead to more flooding risk. As for the marine forecast for tomorrow, 84 on that thermometer outside in the air, 86 is your water temperature. That's very warm for this time of the year, so enjoy that while it lasts because we will start to cool down eventually. So setting up towards that 91-degree mark again tomorrow, and there's that 70 forecast. Showers and thunderstorm activity really ramps up again by Thursday and Friday, so just be aware of that. If you like us, which I really hope you do, you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather. And you can also watch us live 5 days a week on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU Weather. You can also watch any of our archives there. And you can also follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather to send us any weather-related content you'd like. There's one more look at your 7-day forecast. Again, be aware of that rainfall threat on Thursday and Friday. And I hope you guys all stay dry this week and have a good week at Florida State and Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Evan Regan.